Hi, I'm Jimmy. In this video, I'm going to walk through a quick analysis of Tesla's stock, ticker symbol TSLA. So I had recently published a video on my thoughts of Tesla's stock, and I did that at the end of April. And a quick synopsis of that video was basically that Tesla's stock is very difficult to come up with a fair value for because they're not profitable and they're not expected to be profitable in the immediate future. So it's difficult to use many valuation techniques on a stock like Tesla's. So for this Tesla stock analysis, I'm trying to focus more on the facts of the situation, and then we're going to try to present both the bull case and the bear case and see if we can get enough information to try to make at least a better investment decision. Okay, so the first chart here, this is a chart of revenue, and easily this is the case for the bulls. Look at how fast the revenue chart has grown. But this chart, unfortunately, is accompanied by this chart. This is the chart of net income. And net income for Tesla stock has been terrible over the past few years, although there's rumors that it could be making a turn to the positive side now. Now, in the last video I did on Tesla stock, I got a lot of pushback about making a big deal about Tesla's profitability. Clearly, the point was that revenue is growing, profitability will come, don't worry about it. As long as they keep growing, everything will get there, and then the stock is going to explode. And a lot of that is very true. But interestingly, I saw some people comparing Tesla stock to Amazon stock, and I guess conceptually that may be true as far as Amazon was not profitable in the beginning, and then they became very profitable. Look at how valuable they are now. But also that Amazon, people were saying that Amazon's a technology company. Tesla's really a technology company, not a car company. But I hesitate in calling them really comparable because they have very different timelines. So this is a chart of Tesla's profit from operations going back to as far back as I could find from when they first launched in 2003. Now, they went public in 2010, so that was year 8, but they had a few years of historical data, so that's how I threw that in there. And then when we add Amazon's profit from operations along the same timeline, well, you'll notice a big difference here. First, yes, Amazon's stock was way more unprofitable than Tesla's stock was in the early years. And I also believe that this is the theory of what will happen with Tesla's stock. And maybe it will be. But ultimately, my hesitation in comparing Tesla's stock to Amazon's stock is that this happened for Amazon in year 10. Right now, Tesla's in year 15, and they're not profitable yet. Now, personally, I hope that this is what happens to Tesla stock, and then profitability, in theory, if it would explode at a similar rate, could end up being just over the horizon. So that would be great for Tesla stock. Now, along those same lines, on the bull case, this is another chart. This is a shorter term chart, but this time we added projections to profits from operations. And as we could see, analyst projections have Tesla turning profitable fairly soon, and that could mean a great thing for Tesla's stock. But unfortunately, this brings us to the valuation of Tesla stock. So what is Tesla stock really worth? Frankly, it's really tricky to tell. In my last Tesla video, I used a somewhat random EV to EBITDA multiple based on what I could find from analyst projections, took an average of them, and frankly, that was somewhat difficult to defend because how do you value a company that's not profitable, that hasn't been profitable for a long time? It's a tricky thing to do. Clearly, Tesla's stock is not being valued based on profits or even revenue. It's really being valued based on market expectations. And that's fine. That's happened with many companies, and many of them turned out very, very well. But I'd like to at least be able to explain to ourselves why we paid the price we paid if we're going to invest in Tesla stock today. So here's one interesting way to look at it. So Tesla's stock is valued right now at about $39 billion. That's their market cap. And last year, they sold about 245,000 cars. That means that Tesla's stock is currently being valued at about $159,000 for every car that they sell. To me, that's a lot of money to value them at. And if we compare that to a company like BMW, well, BMW is currently valued at about $20,000 for every car that's sold. So $159,000 per car to $20,000 per car. And I use BMW as a comparison here because companies like Ford, well, they're even worse for the comparison because Ford is valued at less than $7,000 per car sold. Now, I'm sure that some people are out there saying that Tesla is a technology company and not a car company, so that's not a fair comparison. And perhaps that's true to some degree, but Tesla does make a lot of money selling cars. So right now, more than 80% of their revenue is from selling cars. Granted, they may be making a better car, and they may be the future of cars, but still they're cars. So now I could easily make the case for the bullish or the bearish side of Tesla's stock, but there is a very bright note that I think could be very interesting for Tesla stock. First, like I said, they may be profitable soon, and that's awesome. That would be a great thing. That would take that right off the table. But there's something else that could work just as well in their favor, and that is that this is a chart of free cash flow. And if analysts are correct, the green bars are analyst expectations. Well, if analysts are correct, it could be as soon as next year for Tesla to start generating plenty of free cash flow to not only support the growth of their business, but to keep developing their programs like their robo-taxis or driverless cars. Because at the end of the day, I recognize how much research and development costs all of this is going to take for them to push things forward. And that's actually another aspect of why I think Amazon and Tesla are not that great at comparisons. Now, at the end of the day, I have one more concern and one more bright note I want to bring out about Tesla stock. So the concern, first of all, this chart. This is a chart of Tesla stock going back the past few years. And the blue line is Tesla's stock price. But the red bars, those are stock offerings. So Tesla, in this example right here, well, Tesla issued about $863 million worth of new stock. Now, this could be a tricky thing for stock investors because every time they issue a new piece of stock, well, the value of the stock that's currently out there gets diluted just a little bit. So earnings per share would fall. Free cash flow per share would fall. And in theory, the value of the overall stock would fall. Not the overall value of the company, but the overall value of individual shares would fall. And this leads us to the good news, and that is interest rates. So my concern in the last Tesla video was that interest rates were going to continue to rise. And if they continue to rise, well, that would make it difficult for all companies to issue debt at a good price. But with now there's talk about interest rates falling, that could make it much easier for Tesla to go out and raise money either via debt or via stock issuance, because in theory, stock value should be higher because of falling interest rates. And that could give them the cash they need to hold them over while they try to push profitability. So I believe that if Tesla can push profitability, if they can get free cash flow to be as positive as analysts' expectations are, well, I think that that could be a great thing for Tesla stock. Now, I do hesitate to pay the price of Tesla stock today. I think it has to be significantly lower. Last time I said, based on the EV to EBITDA multiple, that it was $200 per share could be a fair value. I actually think it's lower than that. They've issued more debt since then. So I think that there's question marks in place. And if I owned Tesla stock today, I'd be sitting and holding. If I don't own it, which I personally don't, well, I got to sit in the sidelines. I'm rooting for them, but to me, I just can't justify paying this price. But what do you think? Do you think that Tesla stock is going to be a good buy of right now? Do you think it's something that will turn around in the next year or two? Or do you think it will take longer than that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.